Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of FaceTurn with Candace Cordelia. I am your host, Candace Cordelia. It's really great to see all of you today, and it's also fantastic to introduce you to the one and only Maria Kanellis-Bennett. You have seen her and know her very well through her work with WWE, Ring of Honor, or NJPW. I'm stumbling because I'm just
It's okay, New Japan.
You've been everywhere, Maria, and it's so fantastic to meet you finally. Unfortunately, it's virtual, but I have a feeling in due time it will be in person. So, welcome so very much to my show. And how are you? How's everything going?
Wonderful. Just ramping up for this show on Sunday.
Yes, we cannot wait. And, the bulk of this interview is exactly talking about that women's wrestling army. When you made the announcement, it just lit the wrestling world on fire. People were so excited, so jazzed to hear about this, and we can't wait to hear more. So my first question for you about women's wrestling army is, how exactly did you come to the place where you thought, okay, this is the time where this needs to happen and we need to create this now?
It was Willow Nightingale, actually. Was probably the first one to say something to me about it. We were all very sad about what was happening with Ring of Honor. We didn't know where it was going to go. When we were all released, we had created such a great team, a great group of women, and we all wanted to still work together, but we didn't have a place to do so. And so Willow Nightingale said, "You got to do something," to me and Bobby Cruz, and I was like, I don't want to own a company. I don't want to own a wrestling promotion. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. It's not a natural fit for me. But we started to talk about it and looked at different ways that we would be able to stream a show, looked at different ways of how we could structure everything. And then Brand Army approached me to do an exclusive content page for myself. And so I tried that out for a couple of weeks, and then we decided on it. We decided that we were going to put our show on an exclusive content page. And the nice part about being able to do that is, yes, we still own Women's Wrestling Army, but at the same time, so can the talent. And so the talent will own their own matches, they'll own their own bumps, they'll own their own successes. And for me, that was the most important thing. I am not going to have physical damage from the bumps that are taken in the ring during my show. They are. And so it's residual damage it's residual income for residual damage. And that is what keeps sticking in my head. And so no matter where we go, and right now we have 2 streaming contracts, no matter where we go, there will be that profit sharing aspect to it. And that's the only way I feel comfortable owning a product. That's the only way that Bobby Cruz feels like he can own a product, is to have that bit of profit sharing and ownership.
That's really fascinating in terms of this revenue share that you have going, because nowadays people are so enamored by numbers, talking
Mm-hmm.
about demographics and talking about numbers, television viewership, all of that good stuff. What are your thoughts on this rise in terms of the fan interest in demographics, numbers, knowing how much wrestlers make, and all of the behind the scenes business aspects?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's just so much more information available. So you look at social media and the way that people are able to communicate about different things, and the community of wrestling. It's changed. It definitely has changed. More information is out there. And so when you're looking at your favorite stars, when you're looking at different wrestlers throughout the years, you want to know as much as you can about them. It's kind of like peeling back the curtain. That's why, like with Women's Wrestling Army, we are going to show some documentary style footage on our shows. You're going to see, me leaving my house and leaving my children, and how that comes into play. You're going to see how the building is put together, and so it can have this wrestling product in it. You're going to see real and true stories from some of the wrestlers if they want to. And that is big for me. Is like, some people want to give their personal stories, some do not. But we're not all about like a gotcha moment or anything like that, to where we just want to show whatever they want to show. And, I think that nowadays people just, they like that stream of information.
Absolutely. And they love it from their favorite stars. And you have booked, you and Bobby Cruz, a really amazing roster of women, at least just for the first show alone. We have Janai Kai, Ashley D'Amboise, The Hex. There's just names after names and stars after stars. What goes into that booking process?
So we wanted to include as many of the Ring of Honor stars that we had, the women that we had worked with. That was really important to us. But then it's also, you bring in new people as well. You get that vibe of those that are on the fight up. And then it's also a case of having as many veterans as you can on a show. That's how we booked the tournament last year in Ring of Honor. And that's how we're going to book moving forward. This business is, it's almost like apprenticeship. You're learning a skill from someone that knows it better than you. And you take that knowledge and you try and perform it better than they can. And that's the fight. And that's exciting. You see somebody like Roxanne now. She started so very young, but think about all the different people she was able to learn from. And what really sealed the deal for me was watching her work Deanna. Not in Impact, but she worked Deanna down in Texas. And that is what made me want her in the tournament. Because I watched her as she's in this match with Deanna and she's holding her own against someone like Deanna. But at the same time, she's humble and she's willing to learn. And I think that's going to be so great for her moving forward. Everybody in the Ring of Honor tournament was given a mentor, whether it was Max, who had Holodead, or it was Roxy, who had Angelina and Sumi and all the veterans she was able to face in the tournament, or someone like Trisha Dora, who had Marty Bell. So they all had their mentors that they were facing, and people that they could continue to build relationships, so they choose. And I think that's how you build a roster. And that's how we're building this show for Sunday.
Who were your mentors, Maria? I'm just very curious because not only are you fantastic in ring, but you have a wonderful mind for business in general, not just wrestling business, but just business. I mean, you were on The Celebrity Apprentice. So, we have to give you props for being such a business-minded person. So who are your mentors?
So as far as in the ring, I always felt like that was never my strong suit, but I always loved Lita and Trish. Those are the people that I got into wrestling watching. Like I just loved how strong they were, but that they could also be sexy, or they could be feminine, or so for me, like those were my in-ring mentors. The other mentors I've had along the way, Paul Heyman, Jim Cornette, I worked underneath him at OVW. I've had so many conversations with Triple H. I've had conversations with Cena. I've had So like, the in-ring was one thing, but then there was the other side, the storytelling, the show building, the booking, and I still to this day ask advice from Heyman when I need it. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he'll still, we'll text back and forth about that. I'll ask advice from, any of the, like a Tommy Dreamer, or from the girls themselves. Like I talked to Thunder about different women she's booked down in Mission Pro. I'll talk to Lita. I'll talk to Christy Hemme. I'll talk to Gail. And these women are women I admire. And, to have that community of women is also very important.
I'm glad you mentioned Mission Pro and Thunder Rosa, because in the press release about Women's Wrestling Army, it specifically states that you will, or at least the promotion will be able to collaborate with other people, other promotions, which I personally think is really important. It takes a village, and you can't do everything alone, and there's power and collaboration in numbers. So what else can you tell us about that in terms of your hopes to, or with collaborating with other promotions, other wrestlers, other people behind the scenes?
So we will have at least one title match on Sunday at FET in Providence, Rhode Island. And that will be the Hex versus another tag team. And it's going to be for the NWA Women's Tag Team Championships. So there you go, a little tidbit of goodness there.
Yes.
But that's collaboration. You know, that right there, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to continue to do. We have Taya Valkyrie, and she has the AAA championship. I'm not going to have her walk out there without her title. I'm not going to have her. She earned that. Like she did. You know, we have Tasha Steele on. She's got the Impact Knockouts championship. She's going to be announced as the Impact's knockout champion. She's not going to be just announced as Tasha Steele. She's going to be announced as the Impact Knockouts champion. We have champions from smaller promotions as well, and we're going to announce them. I'm not competing with other wrestling promotions. You know, I am trying to build everybody up. I talk to CCW from time to time, which is another all women's promotion. And I will support them wherever I can. And that's just, to me, that's how I want to do things. Again, because I don't want to own a wrestling promotion. It's just, this is what happened. So I will build up whoever I possibly can in any promotion I can.
Yeah, I completely understand it on the promotion side, because I've told friends before, if I come back in the next life, a job that I would not want to have is being a wrestling promoter. So I give
no,
that's not to knock any wrestling promoter, especially
no. The promoters are great. God bless them.
Yes, absolutely. It's the job.
I just don't want to be one.
It's a lot. And if you can do it, you know, all the blessings to you. I mean, in your opinion, what is the most underappreciated role in being a wrestling promoter?
Oh, gosh, booking travel. Heavens. I don't want to look at any more flights. And I didn't have to do very many. Bobby Cruz, he took the helm on booking the flights. And I was just like, I can't. Like, I'm like, that right there. You know, thank you to all of the promoters who have ever booked me a flight. And now I understand why sometimes the flight is horrible. Like, I get it, because that is tough. And like putting all the pieces together, like I have to do the scheduling for Sunday and Monday of this coming weekend. And I'm like, all right, who gets in when can they do their promos? Okay, they have this amount of time to get ready. Okay, and then this person needs to leave when? All right, let's figure that out. And then this person I'm not looking forward to that. That part of it is going to be tough, but God bless promoters.
Amen. And kudos for, I mean, that alone, even just booking a flight for yourself is a task in 2022, especially with prices and all of that. So I get it.
No more. I need to find somebody. I got to find somebody that is going to do it for me eventually. Right now, we are a startup. We have a budget. We need to stick to it. We do not stick to it, but we are trying desperately to stick to the damn budget. And so we're a startup. So it's so funny. Like somebody asked me, like, what's your job there? And I was like, everything from booking, the catering, to sweeping the floors right now. That is just what you have to do when you start up, which is fine for me because I grew up with a grandfather that owned a restaurant. And, it's just what you do. You know, he owned the restaurant, but he was still doing the dishes and sweeping the floors and doing whatever else he had to do because he owned the restaurant. Mm-hmm. And, that Greek background of, owning a family restaurant, it still is in my body. It still resonates with me.
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of wrestling, especially in the indies too, just based on my own personal experiences, you chip in and help out and do what you can. So whether that's helping to set up the ring or helping with anything else in the back, it builds character. That's just in my opinion. It helps to build character.
For sure.
So with Women's Wrestling Army, and I know that the first show, as you stated, it's going to be May 1st. Now, is this going to be a month-to-month basis, or how are you thinking about all of the shows being laid out as time goes on?
So we have two different streaming deals. One of them is with Brand Army, and you'll be able to just follow womenswrestlingarmy.com to follow, get straight to where that streams, and that'll happen within the next few weeks. And then our second one, I can't announce yet. But with these two separate streaming deals, it's going to be at least two shows a month that we'll be filming. So this Sunday, we're filming 3 episodes of television. Those 3 episodes will be spaced out over the next month and a half or so. But yeah, it'll be about every 6 weeks to 8 weeks that we'll be filming. And then on top of that, we'd like to do pay-per-view. So you can definitely expect us, having another show being announced very shortly. And I think that it's going to be in Chicago, the next one. So I could just drive down the street and be like, here I come. The first one was near Bobby Cruz. The second one's near me. But and that didn't happen intentionally. That's just, what we're thinking right now. But yeah, we are probably going to be filming every 6 to 8 weeks with at least one pay-per-view in the next year.
I love it. I love it. With Bobby Cruz, he's another big proponent of Women's Wrestling Army. How has it been collaborating with him in this new venture that you both have going?
So we're 50-50. I do most of the interviews and things such as that, but we're 50-50 in the company. He has 2 daughters. He approaches this from like that perspective of being a father and helping out the girls in whatever way he can. He's promoted shows in the past as well. So, I'm leaning on his experiences from the past. He's also been, he worked for Ring of Honor for almost 20 years as a ring announcer, and I'm sure he will continue to do so when Ring of Honor comes back. So he has a ton of experience in wrestling, and we very rarely disagree. We do disagree from time to time, but we work it out. We have our moments of being psychotic. Sometimes I will send him like 50 messages in a row and he will not answer because he knows I'm just going on a rant, just like, and this happened and blah. And then like, he'll finally, are you good now? Yes, I'm good. Okay. Can we work? Okay. Yes, we can work. And then same thing for him. He will go back and forth with different things that are on his mind. But it's not personal. It's, a fantastic working relationship. We always thank each other at the end of every single call. We say thank you, whether the call was a good call or something we were, working through or whatever it was. It's always a thank you at the very end. And we're excited to move forward with that. It's about the team. Building this, we are not collecting talent. We are building a team. People that will work well together. We will try and get the very best wrestlers. But at the end of the day, everyone needs to work towards the team.
I really like that. And it seems as though throughout your career, you've been an advocate, not just for women's wrestling, but for teamwork and collaboration and making sure that you lift others up. When we're getting into, because you did mention Ring of Honor, and this question has been asked so many times, I'm sure, about where is Maria in terms of Ring of Honor? Is she going to come back? Is what's happening? So now that we are a few weeks removed and some news has passed, what are your thoughts about all, because there's been a lot of Ring of Honor news in the past few days alone. Can we expect to see you come back, or is that still kind of up in the air? Is it still kind of like, maybe, perhaps, I'm not too sure.
I think the biggest thing right now is getting Ring of Honor back on TV. And getting it back, whether that's streaming or if it's on a network or wherever Ring of Honor lands. I think that's the most important thing. And that's the thing that everybody, first and foremost, that needs to happen before any kind of, employee decisions are made or talent decisions are made, because we need a home first for Ring of Honor. I've had, I have such loyalty and respect for Ring of Honor that I will continue to fight for it, whether that's as an employee of Ring of Honor or, as an employee of Impact Wrestling. And I think that's what you will find with me is as news will eventually, hopefully, cross our fingers, break that Ring of Honor will have a new home, I think that's when I can start giving my thoughts on, where I belong in that situation. As far as like with Tony Khan and I are working out ways to work together, and working out ways of communicating. And I'm thankful that he's open to it. Without knowing where Ring of Honor is going, it's tough to make those decisions. So for me, I'm just thankful to be in the conversation. And I think that's really important. He has said that he wants it to become a weekly television product. And so he's fighting for that right now. And that's the most important thing, is more jobs for more wrestlers, more homes for more wrestlers, and keeping that Ring of Honor spirit alive of being the very best wrestlers in the world. So, I think that Ring of Honor is in good hands, and we'll see what comes about from there.
We'll see. And I love the optimism, and I'm on the same wavelength. You just have to wait and see. I think so many people are just excited about the promise of seeing Ring of Honor once again on weekly television. So you're right, it's up in the air, but you have to keep the faith alive and just know that people are fighting for it to stay alive. Yeah. So absolutely. When it comes to Impact, and I have to bring this up because Impact, I love Impact. We just had Rebellion, which I thought was a fantastic pay-per-view.
Gosh, yeah.
I'm getting chills. I've said this before because it was fantastic. It was amazing. And we love the fact that you are back at Impact with Honor No More. How does it feel to be back and to be a part of that faction?
Oh, gosh. Impact is, it is the land of misfit, forgotten, underutilized toys, people that are trying to find themselves again, and everybody comes together. I like to say Impact is for everyone. It doesn't matter what kind of fan you are, WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, whatever it is. If you are a fan of wrestling, you belong at Impact, because we will have something for everyone. And whether that be, former WWE stars or former Ring of Honor stars, you will see it there. And that to me is the most appealing part of it. And that's the soul of Impact. They have been a resting place for those that, miss being able to do what they love, or a trampoline for those that needed to take their career to the next level. And being back there and seeing Gail Kim across the room and what she's doing in her position, and seeing the way that the shows are developing, it means a lot to me. People had their kids backstage. Like, it's a family environment. It is, it's breaking down those barriers. It's, some of the very first women that had kids and came back to wrestling were in Impact. You think about, Taryn, or you think about Brooke, and, they were before any of us, and they didn't have a ton of, visual, people they could lean on that had experience with it. They, women had kids in this business before, but nobody talked about it. And so, this was the first time you were able to see it and see people come back from it. And, that means a lot to me as well. And seeing Jet walk down the ramp with his daddy, all I can envision is Mike and our son Carver. And that's it. I don't know. It just makes it very like emotional for me.
Mm-hmm. Have your children expressed any interest in being wrestlers or being a part of the industry? I know they're tiny right now, but I don't know if that's come up or if it's been a part of the discussion as a family.
Yeah, my son hits hard, like hard. Like, I've been hit harder by him than I have some of the people I've been in the ring with. Like, he just, because he's 2, so he doesn't know his own strength, and he's big, and he, he's got these heavy hands, and he loves to wrestle, and but he's 2. So like, we can't put him in wrestling yet. He will be in wrestling as soon as he turns 3. My brother has coached wrestlers. His son is in wrestling. My brother was an amateur wrestler. So like, I'm sure he'll be in wrestling as soon as we can put him in it. My daughter she's a performer. She's in dancing. If they want to do it, they can do it. I will tell them the honest side of it. It hurts and it's hard. And it's, there's what you do in the ring, but there's also how you carry yourself, how you promote yourself. There's the marketing, the social media aspect of it. It's hard. And so I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Yay, it's celebrity. No, it's a job. And anybody that tells you different, it's wrong. It's false information. So I will be very honest with my kids, but I will never tell them they can't do something as long as it doesn't hurt anybody or hurt themselves. So we'll have to see. We'll see what happens with them.
And they're in fantastic hands. I mean, you and Mike and the rest of your family, I think we are seeing the next generation of powerhouse wrestlers.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I mean, Matt Hardy has like a whole team of,
yes.
I mean, my goodness, the Hardy boys in the trios matches. Can you imagine?
Oh
I mean, it's, and everybody is, we look and we admire and we get inspired by the parenting of so many, whether it's Ms. and Maurice, or if it's Rebby and Matt, or if it's Renee, or, we see, or Brandy and Cody, like we look to them for inspiration and to feel like, we're all in this as a team. But oh my God, the next generation, holy cow. I don't know what that's going to look like. It's going to just be an entire company and they're just going to call it the next generation.
Exactly.
There's so many.
And that's beautiful. I really love that. I think that's fantastic and that's great. And the fact that next generation will have this present generation to coach them and lead them along the way and guide them and tell them this is what you can do and this is how you can make a difference. And that's awesome. That's awesome to me. So I can't wait to see it because I know it's going to happen. So, this has been so fantastic, Maria. And my last question for you, it has to do with the state of women's wrestling. It's been such a hot topic on social media alone, with every show, every day. You go on Twitter and you have someone saying, okay, I need to see more than one women's match, on this show. And we're not seeing this person enough and we're not seeing that. And what are your thoughts about all of this now that you are helming Women's Wrestling Army? How would you like to see the state of women's wrestling progress as time goes on?
So I think the biggest thing is we have to figure out what that formula is. I've noticed this just in my own experience. Women shows are the most watched. Women's matches, they're the most watched. Women's exclusive content pages or the Twitches, they're the most watched. But getting people in the door is very different. So if you love women's wrestling, buy a ticket and go to a show. Support them in that way. This is the way to the future, is to show that women can continue to sell out arenas in their own right, and to show that over and over and over again. So you have good metrics to show promoters, to show the Vince McMahons of the world, the Tony Khans of the world, the Scotts of the world, to whoever it is, to the New Japans that don't have women's wrestling. You need to show them that women are getting people in the door. So if you love women's wrestling as much as you say you do, buy a ticket, go there, cheer for them. Because that is the way to the future, to the next level. Because women do sell on TV. Women do sell as far as exclusive content. Let's get them in the door. That's what I want. I want to see people coming into the door and really supporting all of us. It's going to be exciting to see what happens this Sunday. There's 2 women's shows. They're back to back, one price for 2 shows. Let's see you in the door. If you mean it, put your money where your mouth is. But because women do sell, it's just not getting them in the door. And I think that that's how we have to move forward with this is, we have to find ways of bringing people into these buildings and not just being the highest rated segments, because we are. And because we've proved that, whether it's in Impact or WWE, or if it's in AEW, we bring the ratings and we bring the merchandise sales. Let's get them in the door. Let's see what happens.
I mean, you heard her, everyone. Go to the shows. You have 2 back-to-back, May 1st for Women's Wrestling Army, Providence, Rhode Island. I hope to see everyone there if I'm able to go. I'm counting on it. You can make it, or you can watch it. Is this going to be streaming as well? Is there a way give us all the knowledge, Maria?
Okay, I'll give you as much as I have. So our show in particular will be streaming later on. It's not going to be streaming on that day. We're filming 3 episodes. And so those episodes will be released about a week to 2 weeks apart. And that's going to be on womenswrestlingarmy.com. So subscribe now so you get all the information. You can also get, you could see all of the talent as well. I'll be posting more of the talent today, so that you can see who you'll be able to see at the shows, and also streaming. Eventually we'll be able to start streaming a pay-per-view, and that'll be a live pay-per-view. But right now we're keeping it to exclusive content, and it's going to be taped to live. And that'll be our formula for a little while.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maria. This was fantastic to virtually meet you. Thank you for sharing everything
nice to meet you.
that you have. This was awesome. And we hope to see you again on FaceTurn with Candace Cordelia. And thank you all for watching this episode of FaceTurn with Candace Cordelia and myself, Candace Cordelia with Maria Kanellis-Bennett. Find her on all social media platforms. Go watch Women's Wrestling Army, whether it's on person or streaming. Check out Impact. You can watch Impact on Access TV, or if you do not have it, you can go to YouTube and watch it for a very, very nominal fee. Information is on social media. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. It's on PWI. And I hope to see you all next time once again for another fantastic episode. Until then, see you later.